Welcome to María Alejandra OFF-TOPIC, the podcast about the non-musical things around music. My name is María Alejandra Jiménez and I am a violinist, musician and writer. Besides this podcast, in Off-Topic we also have a blog and a newsletter. Subscribe on your favorite audio platform so you don't miss any episode. And if you want to explore more, visit mariaalejandrajimenez.com. Jimenez with J and with Z. Our guest today is Matteo Cardelli, an award-winning Italian pianist who is highly active as both a soloist and collaborative musician. Currently based in Basel, Switzerland, he serves as an assistant teacher to Filippo Gamba at the Hochschule für Musik in Basel and is also a piano teacher at the Musikschule Allschwil. He has performed in prestigious venues across Europe, North America, and Asia, while also organizing concerts for international audiences. Matteo has won top prizes in multiple international competitions, and as a soloist, he made his debut at the Basel Musical Theatre, performing Brahms' Second Piano Concerto with the Symphony Orchestra Basel. Equally passionate about chamber music and concert organization, Matteo has performed the complete Beethoven cello sonatas in Basel in a duo with his brother Giacomo Cardelli, the principal cellist of the Orchestra del Teatro La Fenice. The duo Cardelli has also recorded documentaries and interviews for RAI and Radio 3. Additionally, he is the founder and artistic director of the Ensemble Music Festival, an annual concert series in his hometown, Ferrara. Now, on a more personal note, how do I know Matteo? He was originally a friend and study companion of my boyfriend Umberto here in Basel, but over time he became one of our closest friends here. And one of the things we have shared the most together is actually dinners, which brings us to the topic today, that is cooking. Umberto and I are always very excited when Matteo invites us over because he cooks incredible. And what has always impressed me is his openness to experimenting with new ingredients and his patience in preparing rather complex recipes. So, welcome, Matteo. How are you?
Thank you, Maria, for having me here. I'm very happy to take part in the podcast, and I'm doing pretty well. I must say I'm a bit tired in these weeks. A lot of things going on with work, teaching, and managing my life in many aspects. So, yeah, but I'm super excited to be here
Nice.
today.
Is there something else that you would like to share about yourself before we begin with the topic?
I also like being in nature and doing sports.
Nice.
I love movies and especially horror movies and thriller movies, something that has to do with psychological things and themes. But also about music, I love also jazz music and to listen to every genre that I can get my hands on, really. And about other projects, maybe later.
Maybe later. I will ask you at the very end if there is something that you want to share.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, it's true. Yeah, you love movies. You're always talking about the movies you're watching. Actually, we wanted to go watch Mulholland Drive last Sunday, but I failed completely because that day I was traveling back and somehow I mixed up the dates and we didn't manage because they're doing a David Lynch. They were doing, actually they're not doing it anymore, at like a David Lynch special at the cinema here, but I missed it. But we have to schedule that with other friends to watch some David Lynch movies. So talking about movies, like the first thing I ask all the guests, at least in the first season, is do you have any recommendations to share? Like it can be a movie or a TV show, a book, like it can be anything that you are enjoying lately.
Lately I'm reading some poetry, some Pavese, love poetry, and I must say I'm loving them. So this is just a anthology of all the poetry he wrote when he was like 18 years old and later on in his life, and he put them all together. So it's also very interesting to see how he developed during the life, also his conception of love and all the feelings, different emotions, and the way of expressing them. So that's very interesting. I might suggest.
Yeah, I have to read that. I actually never read
Italian poetry.
Pavese. No, Italian poetry, yes. Yeah. I read Eugenio Montale.
One of my favorites.
Di Seppia is called in Italian, I think.
Yes.
And I liked it a lot. And it was very magical because in the moment I was reading it, we went with Umberto to Liguria.
Yes.
And I love to be in the place that inspired a lot of the poems. I am very passionate about going to the places that inspired certain books. So that's very beautiful. So I wanted to ask you first, what is your first memory associated with cooking?
Well, probably the one that I can remember, apart from my mom cooking at home when I was a kid, but it was my grandma and my grandfather in Ferrara cooking on Sundays, because we were going there very often, almost, as I can remember, every Sunday or almost every Sunday. And I remember just entering in their house and immediately smelling these beautiful dishes being cooked in the kitchen or even in the garden with the grill by my grandpa, and just this atmosphere of joy, of sharing, and amazing smells and tastes.
Do you remember a specific dish or more like
many.
general? Many.
Many of them, yes. Well, one above all, I must say, so cappellacci, which is typical from Ferrara. My grandma still makes them nowadays. And this is stuffed pasta with pumpkin, and also the other pot was with the slowly cooking ragu sauce. So it's just a triumph of aromas in the house. Or I remember even my grandfather grilling fish. He was absolutely incredible with the fish, and so in the garden there was this incredible aroma of spices and
that's incredible. Like, I don't know, I feel like grilling is like the task of like the male people in families. But I don't know, in my house, like my dad used to grill, like he was the one that was doing the grills, like the barbecues, but it was always red meat. I was never actually in a barbecue with seafood. I think that's like sounds incredible because I love seafood, so that sounds like a good place to be. Yeah.
I'm sure you would have loved my nonno recipes.
And this is maybe a weird question, but do you think that this is integrated somehow in your life as a musician?
I'd rather say, I don't know, sometimes I feel I just like a creative being in general. And I have to say, my passion especially exploded during Corona times, when we didn't have much to do as artists and musicians. All the theaters were closed, no concerts, basically no teaching, and so on. So I had this immense urge to express myself in some other way, and so basically I began experimenting. And so I feel like, yes, in a way, it's another, I see those as another artistic expression of myself. So yeah, another side of me. Also, exploring the different things, and since I'm very curious generally also in music, and also in cooking and tasting foods and exploring new aromas and combinations. Yeah, so it's all part of my being. So, yeah.
I find it really fascinating how COVID time brought people to discover more things of themselves that they would have never had the chance to explore. Because, I remember also like during COVID, it was terrible because suddenly I lost all my streams of income.
Oh,
It was during my studies in Lausanne, and I didn't have the chance to go with my family. I was just kind of stuck there. And I wasn't feeling great. And something that made me feel much better, I started recording YouTube videos, doing reviews of books. And this was very interesting because for me, like, reading is a huge part of my life, and also writing. And I feel like, especially like as classical musicians, sometimes we are like the environment in which we grow up kind of, I don't know if the word is forces, like it kind of forces us, or it kind of makes us focus too much on only one thing, and that kind of deprives us from trying other forms of artistic or creative experiences. So it's very interesting that you're starting like cooking during COVID, because when suddenly we have any concerts or anything, like as musicians we are all like creative beings, so like we want to express ourselves, and it's very, and I can really see that you express yourself through cooking. Like I did a very long Instagram post but I know that you share very often what you cook on Instagram.
I did, yes.
And I don't know, I find that very beautiful. That's why I wanted to invite you to talk about that. And I mean, you do really incredible things when you invite us for dinner. I remember that you did this kind of fish, like this kind of fish.
God, what was that?
It was I don't remember exactly what it was. It was kind of a cake with potatoes and fish inside, and you did it with the fish form. And it was like, oh my God, like never a friend did something so extra for us to cook. That was incredible. So that
is kind of kid recipes that my mom used to prepare for me and my brother when we were little. With tuna fish and potatoes and a bit of olives, mayonnaise. I remember, yes. It was it's always like a child memory for me, yes.
And I mean, you kind of already replied this because you are talking a lot about your family, but is there a particular person or maybe something in particular that influenced you to get more interest on this?
Well, apart from my grandparents and mother, yes, basically every chef, cook, or kitchen expert that I could find online by reading or by exploring also by myself. So for me, meeting a new chef or a new recipe is like getting to know a new piece of music. It's really a discovery moment, and it's always a source of inspiration. So my roots are obviously my family, and these happy memories of sharing time and food together around the table will be for me with me my whole life. And I enrich this with the new experiences.
I feel like for Italians, like cooking is a very emotional thing. Like it's very related to how, like, I mean, it's very emotional and it's very related. It's a social thing, no? Like cooking and eating is really part of the society. And I'm enjoying that very much with Umberto. Like, I mean, like also in Venezuela, I think that eating and cooking, I mean, every country, but I feel like in Italy, this is particularly strong. Then what really impresses me about Italy and Italian food is that, of course, there are some things that are very complicated, but most of the Italian food is actually very simple. I have this feeling like it's just really good ingredients that are combined properly, no? And I find this very interesting in contrast to Venezuelan food, because like Venezuelan food very often is very complicated to cook. It takes ages to cook something. And like for example in Christmas, we have this dish that is called hallacas, that is very similar to the Mexican tamales. I don't know how to explain that. For the people that has no idea what are tamales, it's a kind of difficult to explain, but it's a kind of pocket made with corn flour filled with meat and different kind of things. And it takes a long time to cook. Like I think like the whole process takes around 2 days, plus the whole process of buying the ingredients, which is even longer. So yeah, in Venezuela, we have this thing that cooking becomes a way of seeing time passes. I don't know how time goes through. I don't know how to explain, because for doing the hallacas, we make like this kind of different. Everybody has like a job, so it's a thing where you can be hours just preparing and talking and listening to music, and it's like a whole celebration on itself. Cooking.
Exactly. That's the process is the most beautiful part. Exactly for this reason. It was also typical for me and my brother also doing little jobs, as also as kids. I know you grate the cheese, or I don't know, you work with the with the pasta a bit, and push it on the board. So this takes time and love and being together, and so it's
and I always found also fascinating like how in parties somehow everybody ends up hanging, like the kitchen is the place to talk, like you go to the kitchen, like maybe there is a table beautifully served and everything, but somehow people always go to the kitchen to talk. Like I don't know, I find that very beautiful, how music, like how cooking creates community. And I feel like also, especially as classical musicians, we don't have very often this sense of community. I don't know, in this like it's very often kind of lonely.
We spend a lot of
time alone. It depends. Alone, like if you play in an orchestra, it's more like community thing, or if you play chamber music. But I always thought that, because for example, like when I go to concerts of pop musicians and stuff, you can see that there is a whole like aesthetic, and there is a whole sense of belonging and community. And this is something that I always thought that we should explore more. I don't know. Maybe I don't know if you agree or but
maybe that's a reason why a lot of concert series or colleagues who I know who are organizing concert series, usually they try also to combine, I don't know, wine tasting with the concert, or I don't know, doing a concert in a restaurant or in a big hall where you can combine a menu with also a concert program, or just having an apero before, after the concert. Also, this combination of having a bit more conviviality, and not just sitting there in silence for, I don't know, 90 minutes straight, with no contact, neither with the public around you or with the artists. So again, food helps.
Food helps, definitely. And another question, like, do you have a cuisine preference besides Italian food, or is it
that's kind of the easy answer, but since I've been living here now in Basel since 10 years. My gosh, 10 years now. And here is a very international city. There's a lot of exchange. We are at border with 3 countries, and a lot of people from all over the world come here, study, work, travel, go away, come back. Then they bring also a lot of different cultures. And so I learned also to explore a lot. And a lot of new tastes. And I have to say one of my favorites is probably Eastern cuisine. So I love Korean cuisine and also Indian cuisine. These are just because also a bit like Italian cuisine, probably, as you were saying, they have very simple basic ingredients, but they can be combined in 1,000 different ways. Also, if you start for a curry and you make it with 4 or 5 spices, with the same spices you can prepare, I don't know, dozens of different variations of that. And for me, that is absolutely a source of inspiration and joy. Every taste is new and every time is new, yes.
Yeah, that kind of makes me think of like something I always loved in Beethoven's music is his capacity of varying things.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Like I don't know. I was thinking about that.
Sure, you start with a very simple motive in a way.
Yeah.
Can be a rhythm.
I
or
like that a lot in music when composers are really able to take something that is really simple and do a lot of different things out of something that is very, very simple. Yeah, but cuisine preferences. I don't know, like, I think that my favorite cuisines, besides Venezuelan, because I'm Venezuelan, and of course we all love the cuisine of our home, like our country, because it feels like home.
Yes, we have memories.
It's the food you grew up with and everything. I have to say I love Mexican cuisine and Japanese. I think my top 3 will be Mexican, Japanese, and Venezuelan. I love, of course, Italian cuisine, and I'm very happy because now, together with Umberto, also getting together with his Italian friends, and I have discovered a lot of things about Italian cuisine that I had no idea about, especially because he comes from Piemonte, and is not at all the stereotypical Italian food. Like, it's very particular, and I'm loving to discover that. Like, actually, it's kind of closer. I feel, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like it's kind of closer to French cuisine.
I was about to
the
literally say
stereotypical
that,
Italian cuisine, with the way they cook meat, the cheeses, the wine. Also, like the structure of the meal. I'm very fascinated about how eating is structured. Like when you start living abroad or when you travel, like you kind of eat in a way, and then you realize that people eat in a complete different way, in the way they eat certain things first. For example, like in France, they eat salad, at least where I was in France, because I was a lot in the south part of France, they eat salad after the main meal. And in Venezuela, it's the contrary, we eat it before these kind of things. And I always found that the cuisine from Piemonte is very similar in the structure and the way to French cuisine. So that was very interesting.
Just a little anecdote or a little stereotype from Italy. For example, since you mentioned salads, we in big gatherings, big parties, big celebrations, there's usually a lot of starters, a lot of main courses, first, second dishes. And then there's insalata di rinforzo, which is literally that huge bowl of green salad with maybe a bit of cherry tomatoes, a bit of carrots, and nobody's going to eat that probably. But it's di rinforzo, so it's just there to...
This I didn't know. I'm learning now.
No, it's just... of course, when you have this huge amount of food and sides too, and the salad is there just to say, hey, we made a bit of healthy sides as well.
No, I was very impressed because it was 2 years ago. I don't remember when it was. I went to my first Italian wedding in Padova, and it was the most insane amount of food I've ever seen in my life. Like, I don't know, like we were just eating not even the starters, it was like the aperitivo.
Yes.
Like, it was not even the starters, and I was already full, and I was like, oh my God, like, I'm supposed to eat everything else.
No, once I went into a wedding in Alba, in Piemonte, and it was also my first wedding in Italy ever, and I did the terrible mistake of eating too much at the aperitivo. Because I thought, hey, there's so much food here, it must be already like the actual lunch. But no, it was just the aperitivo.
Just the aperitivo. Yeah, and on top of that, it was so warm that I think I was drinking wine and sweating it straight. So I was drinking wine like I was drinking water. And I was ultra full, but somehow I was still eating like for hours.
Of course, yeah.
So yeah, this was my experience in weddings. But yeah, I'm kind of scared always when I go to eat. Like when there are these kind of aperitivos after concerts, stuff like this, I'm always scared because like sometimes you go, you're very hungry, and then there is like almost no food at all. So I can understand. I think also in that wedding I eat way too many stuff at the aperitivo because, but never more in Italian weddings. So, if you're listening and you're invited to an Italian wedding, don't make that mistake. So I have what to ask you, like, what has been your biggest culinary failure?
Probably would be I tried I'm not very good with cakes and bakery in general, just because I don't do it that often. So as always, practice makes perfect. And I don't practice a lot with sweets in general. But yeah, once I tried to make this kind of cake in a pan. I don't know if you know, just you mix the ingredients. It wasn't supposed to be an apple cake, and you just cook it in the pan, you turn it over, and that's it. I don't know, probably I did something very wrong because it turned out half burnt and half completely raw. So, and it was also falling apart. It was destroyed in the pan. It was not to be eaten. So that was. But you learn from mistakes, and I learned to never do a pancake ever again.
Pancake.
No, this cake in a pan, sorry, yes.
Yeah, that is actually a form of pancake.
Basically, yes, let's call it like this. Yeah, but yeah, I never done it again. I turned my boat to something else.
Yeah, I have had a lot of culinary failures because also I am very creative, so sometimes I mix things that then after they don't taste good at all together. But it's worth trying.
You cannot know before, huh? You have to try.
Yeah, but probably the worst one was it's not like I burned it, but it actually catch fire like a pumpkin inside the microwave because like I don't have a proper knife. I have to get proper knives because I just cut with random knives that I have at home. I never got a proper knives. I'm kind of scared of proper knives. I should get past that. So what I did is that I did some holes on the pumpkin. I put some water on it and I put it on the microwave and I just left it there. And it was smelling very weird and I thought it was normal, so I still left it there and then I started seeing fire coming out of the pumpkin. And I had to throw the pumpkin and the microwave. So, yeah, we don't have microwave at home still after that.
That microwave?
It was the microwave that you gave to us, actually. So
for the record.
If you know, it was that microwave. Yeah. So completely destroyed, burns, everything. And are there any restaurant meals that have impacted your life?
More than one, I have to say.
You want to tell some stories with it because I love this.
Yes. Well, since some years I started going to Michelin-starred restaurants. Sometimes when I can afford it. But I must say probably the first time I went to this restaurant in the Venetian Laguna in the islands. It's called Venissa. And I met actually the chef. She's like about our age and very, very down to earth, a super heartwarming woman. And I was incredibly amazed by her ideas and how she managed to transform the products of the garden. They have a beautiful garden and the fishes in something extraordinary. So that definitely is a source of inspiration. They do on, I would say, 90% only with the vegan cuisine or vegan based cuisine, and it's incredible what they can do, really. Apart from that, I would say this is more a childhood memory, but that is more a reinforcement of the idea that I already had, that I love cappellacci. And there is still, I think, in Ferrara this trattoria, so this kind of more down-to-earth restaurant, no hot cuisine at all, but they had this beautiful cappellacci with walnut sauce. And oh my god, the taste of that walnut sauce, it sticks in my memory today still, and I still have to recreate it. And another thing that is still with me is the taste of the it's not really Wiener Schnitzel, this kind of anyway, fried veal or pork or chicken, so breaded chicken, the breaded meat and fried, and the taste that these things had at my grandparents' house. When my grandma does that, when my grandfather did that, they just had something extra to it. I don't know. I fried a lot of things. I fried a lot of food and a lot of breaded meat, but I never managed to recreate still that
specific taste.
That specific taste.
Yeah.
That also.
No, I understand. Like, I have, like, I even wrote a poem about it. So imagine,
really?
I have in my memory, like my kind of sensorial memory. This is a thing, like, do you feel like you have a sensorial memory? Because
yeah,
I have a very strong sensorial memory, and this is something that for me is very difficult to explain.
Yeah.
Especially, like, not really colors and not really that visual, but with like physical sensations, with taste, with smells, and with sounds. And but yeah, I have somehow this memory of cookies that I was eating as a child.
Oh.
In Venezuela, I remember exactly like the form of the cookies, like the taste exactly. Like if I think about it, I can.
You are
taste
tasting
it.
the
I'm
cookie.
tasting it right now. And I even wrote a poem about it because like I never found them again. I don't remember the name of them. I asked my parents about it. They don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know if I dreamt it or it's an imaginary thing. But it's crazy how these things kind of... And I never tasted something like that in my life ever again. But I remember it so clearly. Like, the taste is like... It was kind of... It was not really chocolate, but it was this kind of taste of chocolate that is really like in the background. A bit coffee-like. It was like, I don't know, I have this memory, and it's incredible how these things are so
vivid.
So vivid and so strong. And yeah, there are certain things that are just impossible to replicate. Another thing that is very particular is, like, in Venezuela there are a lot of Chinese people. So that created this kind of phenomena that we call the Chinese Venezuelan food. Oh. So the Chinese restaurants in Venezuela has a very specific taste that I never found in the other Chinese restaurants, to the point that now in the US there are so many immigrants, Venezuelan immigrants, that they recreated and they created there are a lot in the US of Venezuelan Chinese restaurants.
What a combination.
It's incredible. The fried rice is like very specific. It's not easy to replicate.
Then I definitely need to try it.
And then I love eating. I like cooking too. I have to say I enjoy quite a lot, but I love especially eating. And there are a lot of restaurants experiences that are really like in my mind forever. Especially with my dad, I shared a lot of those. With Umberto, the most recent one, I think we went to a restaurant in Paris. It was it our first trip? It was, I think, our first trip together outside of Switzerland. We traveled a bit in Switzerland and we traveled also to Italy, but it was our first trip that was not to visit his family and not in Switzerland. And we went to the Montmartre area, and it's full of tourist traps. So I looked for a guide of restaurants that were not tourist traps.
Yes.
And I found this restaurant. I recommend it to everybody. It's called La Boîte aux Lettres. And it's one of the most incredible meals I ever had. And then another meal that is very special for me is, this is in Venezuela, it's called parguito frito. It's a type of fish that is deep fried and you eat in the beach and with tostones. And I always say that if I had to choose one thing to eat before dying, it would be this, like parguito frito with tostones, but it has to be in the beach with the feet on the sand, and then I can die.
Then you're happy.
I'm happy, yeah. And do you have any restaurant recommendations in Basel?
In Basel?
Or in general, but I ask in Basel
general
because
is
we are
more
here.
difficult.
Yeah, it's more difficult because there are so many, but I ask in Basel because we are here, so
yes.
At the moment.
In Basel, I have to recommend the Pont restaurant.
You liked it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I definitely loved it. It's a bit of international cuisine, but very, very well done. And also Cardamom, this Indian restaurant on Barfusserplatz. It's
I have to try.
Very, very fine food. And since Indian is one of my favorite cuisine, I mean, I am a bit biased, but yeah, that's definitely to try at least once. And I still have to try. I heard a lot of good things about this Japanese restaurant in Gundeli. I don't remember the name now, but it's very close to the station.
Yeah. I really want to go to one that is called... there are two restaurants that you have to visit in Basel. One is called Peng, that is Chinese food. I think it's also in Gundeli. Gundeli area is a neighborhood in Basel for the people that is not from Basel. And then also another one I want to try is called Sparks, and I think it's Portuguese. And apparently it's very good. I still didn't try, but I should definitely try. So the last question I have for you before we go to the next section of the podcast is if there is any aspect of this topic that you think deserves more attention or discussion.
Well, definitely I would since I was already cooking before, I mean, since I left my home and my family, I needed to cook, and everybody needs to cook for themselves just to survive. But I think two main things are very important to me, very dear, and I think everybody could profit from them more, because again, we all have very chaotic lives, very full lives, and cooking becomes probably one of the last priorities in the day. And then we end up ordering delivery, I don't know, or just eating whatever is sitting in the fridge, and that's it. But first of all, cook for someone else. So cook with love, and it's like making music. We don't make it for ourselves.
To say that,
And for me, it's the same. Cook just if you don't have someone next to you, but just cook with someone in your head, in your thoughts. And this it will inspire you a lot, and bring you joy and more love in the things that you're doing. And the second thing is just being curious and experiment with stuff. Don't be afraid of failures, of burning stuff, or as you said, making weird combinations. I remember when we were kids, we were eating bananas with ketchup with my brother. That was definitely not cooking or fine dining, but was very fun. And you might find also something very interesting and new that nobody has experimented with before. And so just experiment more and be full of love. These things are
that is super beautiful also, because I really believe that the most important thing we have in life is like our relationships with other people. And it's very beautiful to do things not only for ourselves, especially nowadays. I feel like everything, like, I think individualism is encouraged, and it's kind of good because we are kind of healing from certain things that were not okay. But I believe that also, like, doing things, thinking about other people is still extremely important.
Yes.
So, before we wrap up, I have a little game prepared for the guests.
Let's go.
None of the guests know what is it about, but here we go. I will explain you. So the first one is very simple. It's just this or that type of question. So here we go. Comedy or drama?
Comedy.
Texting or calling?
Calling.
Analog or digital?
Difficult. Digital, I would say.
Mountains or the sea?
Mountains.
Learning or teaching?
Teaching.
Good. And the second game is I have a list of words. I will say the word and you have to say the first thing that comes to your mind.
So like associating thoughts.
Okay. Yeah, it can be like another word or a phrase or whatever that comes to your mind. Doesn't matter if it's super random. So here we go. Memory.
Feelings.
Music.
Love.
Silence.
Peace.
Color.
Bright.
Freedom.
Again, I would say peace.
Love.
People.
Chaos.
Joy.
Journey.
Discovery.
Home.
Family.
Rhythm.
Dance.
Dream.
Life.
Change.
Also life.
Yes. Voice.
Talking.
Roots.
Like tree roots.
Yeah, like tree roots.
Memories.
Fear.
Interesting.
Future.
Also interesting.
Connection.
Friends.
Art.
Craft.
Pleasure.
Sex.
Pain. Sex.
Well, yes, you said it.
Yeah. Failure.
Okay, this is getting very funny. Failure. I'm thinking now of my cake made in the pan.
Yeah. And success.
Success. Community.
Nice. So we are coming to the end of the episode. You already said 2 very beautiful recommendations, but I would still like to ask you, what's the best advice that you have ever received, or if there is any advice that you would like to share with our listeners about life or music or creativity?
Well, yes, it's like when you meet new people, when you meet a new piece of art, when you travel to some new places, when you taste a new food, be open-hearted, be curious, and go to the world like you would like the world to be towards you. So open-minded, no prejudice. Of course, we all have roots, memories, and that's what makes us unique and special. And but also we have tons of experiences to still make and to enrich ourselves and enrich the people we meet with. So yeah, it's the same. It's a bit similar of what I said. I didn't know about this.
Yes.
But it's really being always curious, stay curious, and give what you. So be warm, be full of yourself, and share it with the others. And whatever comes your way, take it as a new experience for you.
That's nice. Actually, I was thinking, because you are a Gemini, and me, I'm a Gemini as well, and I think that's like the most Gemini advice ever, because like be curious, be open, like these are like core values for Gemini. And I really agree, because I think they're really beautiful values, especially nowadays in a world that is so polarized. It's very beautiful to be open and to be curious and to be open to like understanding that there is a lot of things that are different to ourselves, and I think it's very beautiful to be able to live in harmony with things that are different. So
definitely, yes. Then as the food, if you don't like the food, you don't have to eat it again. But at least you tried it.
Yes, I totally agree. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Maria.
I wanted to ask you, where can people learn more about your work?
Well, you can follow me on my social media accounts, Instagram and Facebook, also YouTube channel.
Do you have the handle? Otherwise, I will leave it in the description.
Yes, I can give it the description.
I will put it in the description, yes. So I will put it in the description.
And my website also is about to
be launched.
So
if you have
stay
it
tuned.
by the time we launch the episode, I will also put it in the description.
Just
let
fantastic.
me know. Yes.
Yes.
And is there any events or projects that you would like to share?
Well, yes, there's not cooking related, but music related. So I'm about to record my first solo CD at the moment of this podcast recording. So this will be in April in Basel, and I'm very excited about this. And I will be giving some concerts around also. So yeah,
very cool.
And later this year I will travel to Australia for the first time. October and November. That's a big trip. I will stay there a couple of weeks and talking about new experiences. That will be a big leap and a big discovery. Yeah. So very happy to go there too.
Yes, so thank you very much for sharing. And to the people that is listening, thank you for joining us in this episode of María Alejandra Off-Topic. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. If you want to share any comments or questions, feel free to write to me. You will find the contact form on my website. I would love to read you. And remember that you can find more content like this on the Off-Topic blog and newsletter. Subscribe on your favorite audio platform so you don't miss the next episode. And if you want to be part of our community, visit mariaalejandra.jimenez.com. Jimenez with J and with Z. Finally, if you like this episode, please share it with your favorite people and or leave us a rating on your podcast platform. This helps me a lot to keep growing and creating more episodes like this one. You can also show your support by buying me a coffee. The link is in the description. So that's it for today. See you next time for more off-topic conversations. Bye!
Bye!